Hello, everyone. My name is Todd Letts. I'm CEO of the Brampton Board of Trade, and welcome to the Brampton Board of Trade's Expert Interview Series. Today's guest is Darian Kovacs, partner with Jelly Digital Marketing and PR. Jelly Marketing is a firm that's been in business since 2014. They're a member of the Brampton Board of Trade, and our topic today is helping you with your digital journey, helping you access financial resources through Canada's digital adoption program. I'm so excited about today's event. Welcome, Darian. As is tradition for the Brampton Board of Trade, we take a moment to acknowledge those that have come before us and acknowledge the land in which we work. And I'd like to do that now again by acknowledging that we operate here at the Brampton Board of Trade in the region of Peel, and this is part of the treaty lands and territory of Mississaugas of the Credit. Thousands of years, Indigenous peoples inhabited and cared for this land. In particular, we acknowledge the territory of the Anishinaabe, the Huron-Wendat, the Haudenosaunee, and the Ojibwe-Chippewa peoples, and the land that is home to the Métis, and most recently, the territory of the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation, who are direct descendants of the Mississaugas of the Credit. We are grateful to have the opportunity to work on this land, and by doing so, give our respects to its first inhabitants. Well, welcome again, Darian. This is going to be a wonderful session. I've been looking forward to it. Very practical information to impart. We'll be covering in this session how you can access and best use the $123,000 in federal funding that's available, the program eligibility requirements, how to leverage the youth intern wage subsidy program, and so much more. Let me tell you a little bit about Darian, though, before we get into our questions. Darian is the Métis founder of Vancouver-based PR, digital ads, and SEO company, Jelly Digital Marketing and PR. And it is also he's also a founder of the digital marketing school, Jelly Academy. He's the host of a podcast, Marketing News Canada. He also chairs the Digital Marketing Sector Council. That's a federal sector council, and is on the board of Empower Canada. His recent book, he's an author, podcaster, advisor. His recent book, Marketing Mentors, features interviews with luminaries like Seth Godin, Guy Kawasaki, and marketing leads from blue chip companies like Lego, Lululemon, and Starbucks. And it is available. This book, Marketing Mentors, is available wherever you purchase books. So Darian is joining us today from Fort Langley, BC, where he resides with his wife and 4 children. Welcome, Darian. So happy to have you here with us today.
Thank you, Todd. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah. It's so wonderful that you have taken membership in the Brampton Board of Trade. We have as our underlying philosophy that, businesses helping businesses, we're stronger together. And certainly you've got some tangible wisdom to impart. It can be confusing to understand CDAP. Which CDAP are we talking about? You'll elaborate on that in a while. It's also intimidating to some small businesses. Oh yeah, federal grant sounds good. We see the headlines, but we get into it, we get into the details, and it's not quite what we bargained for. But this is something that you have a lot of experience in, that a lot of businesses across Canada have positive experiences with. There's no need to be intimidated by it. You're going to be a helpful Sherpa for us here today, and encouraging our members to get started. And why don't we just start up with that first question then, Darian? Tell us exactly what is CDAP, Canadian Digital Adoption Program, and what Canadian businesses are eligible.
Yeah, so the CDAP program, as its acronym, government loves acronyms for some reason, helps businesses solve the digital divide, the problems that they have with growing online, the problems that they have with digitizing their business. The government is practically solving it. The benefits to a business owner now are a grant for research and understanding the digital opportunities, grants to hire now multiple 18 to 30-year-olds, pre-existing or new ones, and an interest-free loan for 6 years. They divided the program in 2 buckets. So just for clarity here, if you are, of course, a Brampton Board of Trade member, you can go to two organizations if your revenue is less than 500K gross. And that's right, 500K gross. You can go to the Ontario Chamber of Commerce or Digital Main Street, and they'll help you with CDAP Grow, which is a $2,400 one-time grant to adopt some sort of digital tech. But what we're mostly going to get into today is CDAP Boost, which is the minute your business has more than 500K in gross revenue, you have at least one employee, less than 500 employees. So that's where the ceiling is, and make less than 100 million gross. So that's kind of like the trajectory of the program. You're able to do a 20-minute verification process online. That's right, 20 minutes, which is unheard of for a federal application. And you can get immediate approval. That's the other thing that's so wild about it. So you're not actually applying, you're just verifying that you are indeed the business owner. And the minute you are approved, you have the choice of 400 different digital advisors in a marketplace to help you navigate this world, kind of like stop, investigate and listen and understand the opportunities. It takes about a month. And then you can then go on to the next two benefits of the program.
Wow, that's a great overview. And I'm going to unpack it a little bit because it sounds great. It sounds like there's some real opportunities here. But what our members have to be aware of is which CDAP. So again, you mentioned if you're a smaller business, less than 500,000, you're talking about CDAP Grow. If you're larger than 500,000 and all the way up to 100 million, we're talking about CDAP Boost, and we're going to be talking more about that. You mentioned that there are three components to CDAP Boost. One, 15K to get you started. Second, that's related to bringing in people to help you implement your plan. And then a third, a 6-year, I think you said loan. We'll look at that a little more deeply as well. So we'll get into that. But let's start then. Oh, and you mentioned there are the easy access. It's 20 minutes. That's going to be my next question. How do we go? How do we start? How do we verify our eligibility? And I think you told me that it would open up, if eligible, us to advice from up to 400 different advisors. And I just want to let everybody know, you are one of those advisors. You are a certified CDAP advisor, and maybe you can tell us a little bit about what that means. So, how do we access and how and tell us a little bit more about advisors and the advice that can be given?
Yeah, you could go to CDAP Money Please, which is just a fun domain name we put out, and it kind of walks you through the program and next steps. You can go right to the federal website, and you can verify yourself either through your bank account or with your GC key. So you got a couple options there. And once you jump through a couple hoops, verifies that you are indeed the owner. They send you a little couple texts to verify it. You are approved within 20 minutes. Sometimes we've done these webinars and people are approved by the end of a 30-minute webinar. And it's very, very exciting because, again, probably the problem with the problem right now is A, people don't know about it, or B, it sounds too good to be true. And so part of this session today is to say, this is actually real. And I've gotten emails from people who are like, hey, I got approved, but it was only like 20 minutes. Is this a real thing? I'm like, yes, this is real. Don't worry. And then once you're done, I'm one of many. The majority of the advisors in there want to help you with cybersecurity. They want to help you with IT needs, software setups, kind of your software stack. And I'm one of the advisors in there whose focus is to help you with your digital growth. So how do you get more leads, more revenue, and more growth for your business? And then we also help people set up and prepare for the Can Export grant to be able to get 50 cents on the dollar for any marketing outside of Canada. So we've really leveraged the CDAP program to do that. And I think the main thing, you can choose any advisor you want, but when you interview them and try to find the right one, make sure that they include a youth implementation plan, because some are doing it, some are not. Because the greatest thing about this program right now, and this is brand new as of 3 weeks ago, is you cannot just hire one person and they give you $7,300, and they can be contractor, they can be salaried. You can have an unlimited number of them. You could have 10. So if you hire 10, for example, that's $73,000 from the government. But it's very important that the first part of CDAP, it includes a youth implementation plan. So you hire 10 people, what are those 10 people going to do? What do their next steps look like? What do their workflow look like? All those good things.
Great. So let's drill down again. What we're talking about is the CDAP, Canada Digital Adoption Program Boost, not Grow. Boost.
You
And
got it.
the boost has three components: a planning component where you're
Yep.
encouraging that plan to include a and youth employment, youth execution. The second part is, in fact, that execution, and the third part, perhaps, well, we'll find out what that's for, but that's the 100,000 part. And again, everybody, this is the CDAP boost as opposed to the CDAP grow, which is a smaller, is it about $2,400 offered through the Digital Main Street program or CDAP Grow through the Ontario Chamber of Commerce. It's very limited and for small businesses. But hey, small businesses have to start somewhere. You'll get to over $500,000 in sales eventually, and then Boost will be available too. So tell us a little bit more about Boost, the three components, and what's important to look out for in component 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah. And cool story on Grow, how it's connected. We actually helped a business with their Grow. We used $2,400 to do some SEO, and we found some opportunities to get more revenue. And this next year, they're actually going to be eligible for Boost. So yes, you can do both. And those that are eligible for Boost can also get Grow. So you are able to dance in both worlds, as long as, again, you get up to that 500K in revenue. So the big things that we've learned, we helped an organization just outside Winnipeg. They provide yarning supplies and knitting supplies. And it was a very cute couple in their 60s who owned this business, and it was doing good. And when we did an audit on them, we discovered there was a whole social media channel they weren't using or tapping into called Reddit. And within Reddit, there's these subreddits. There was one just for knitters and quilters and all that good stuff. We showed them how they could start posting on Reddit, because they've been spending so much energy and time, kind of like a duck's feet underwater, on like Pinterest and Instagram, and hadn't seen the pickup. But the minute they started posting on Reddit and engaging, and they kind of became the grandma and grandpa of this cool subreddit, they saw a 240% increase in revenue out of the US. And then we showed them how to run ads on the subreddit, and again, saw another 300% increase. And so they found their niche community. And that's one of the greatest things about the internet. And then we showed them how to do a Can Export grant. And so this next year, they're actually going to get 50 cents of every dollar they spend in marketing in the US covered by the federal government.
Wow, that is a great story. So, you take away one of the perceptual barriers for getting started on this right away when you say you can start in Boost if you're over $500,000. You can come back to Grow if you want to. You can start in Grow if you want to grow your sales and be eligible for Boost. And then that third component, this example that you gave of the knitting company, they were able to find customers in the United States, and you can leverage your CDAP plan, your implementation plan, the HR resource subsidies for 50% or 50 cents on the dollar risk reduction contribution from the federal government for your export market opportunity, your out of Canada, out of country opportunity. That sounds great. Really, really, really fantastic. Yeah. So drill down for us the three components of CDAP Boost. I understand there's 15K available for, you let us know. Then there's 7,300 per on the HR side, and then 100,000. Tell us about those three specifically.
Yeah. So part one has been probably getting most of the criticism. And this is where let's just put it out there. It's $15,000 towards a $16,500 plan. So essentially 90% of a plan. So the criticism of that is, well, I want that for execution. Like, I'm a small business, 15K seems too much for planning. But what the federal government wants is they want to send good money after good. And so they really want you to take a month, 2 months to like really stop, look around, look at the lay of the land, look at your competitors, look at the opportunities, and really analyze and audit your business. So make sure you get someone really good, really professional, maybe get them to show you an example of an audit, maybe get them to show you an example of a youth implementation plan. And that's all about research, planning, and implementation strategies. Part two, again, you could hire 10 youth now, which is really cool. They can be contractors, they can be salaried, they can be pre-existing staff. All of the rules for CDAP that were in place about a month ago, all of them got broken because they are just very eager to get more youth hired in this country. And then part three is with BDC. and they allow you to get up to $100,000 interest-free loan for 6 years. So again, if you are, and we've had this happen before, and I don't mind, if you are just in it to get an interest-free loan from BDC, CDAP could be the route to go. A lot of people are having struggles right now to get loans from banks at the moment. BDC has a very large chest of loan cash at the moment provided by the federal government that they can facilitate through the CDAP program.
Great. So that is a great progression, seems logical as well. Help me better define the 15K, which is available toward a plan, a
Yeah.
digital adoption plan. And you recommend that that plan include HR execution. It's not 100% for the plan. It's about 90. It's 15K of, say, of 16,500 plan. You also find out through the program some suppliers that could do that plan. And planning is so very important. Before I go into that, is that a grant or is that a loan? Is that a
That is
grant
a
or a
grant.
loan?
Totally a
That's a
grant,
grant.
which is very cool. And here's another thing for those, I'm going to age myself here, but if you want to say get the Hannah Montana Miley Cyrus package, which is like the best of both worlds, and again, many advisors, some may do this. You hope they all do it, but some won't probably. Is you can actually go to one advisor and say, you know what, I don't need 100% of that grant going towards marketing growth. And I've been having these recently. I would like to do 50% with you and then 50% with an IT digital advisor to look at my software stack. And so I've been actually doing a really cool thing. You can go with one primary advisor, and then I bring in an IT advisor that we sub half of it to, and then we split the grant 50-50, and the person walks away with what we call the best of both worlds package.
Very smart. Yes, Hannah Montana. That is aging you. Then again, I'm more familiar with Dolly Parton, her
Yep.
godmother. But
Yes. Yes.
that's a really practical approach to planning. Yes, you want a business development plan. You want to identify gaps. You want to identify what channels your customers are working in. We want to refine your unique value proposition. But I can see that you would want specific IT planning as well to look at your software stack, to look at platforms that you may not be using to their full capability, or maybe a gap in your capabilities. Cybersecurity as well, we have to consider. So that is really good advice. And yes, it is a grant. That is good news. So part two, you were telling us, is related to execution, bringing in young people. What do we mean by young people?
Yep.
And give us an example. I mean, 7,300 is not an annual salary. What do you have any examples of clients that
Yeah.
perhaps have used one or two contractors, or how can you best? There's a precursor. You're really recommending that there be an HR plan as part of your part one, but how is it best executed? Maybe you can give us an example there.
Yeah, and since they changed the rules, people are loving it because it used to just be hiring a new person, but a lot of businesses can't afford even to hire a new person and wait for that reimbursement. They don't want to take on new staff. So here's the coolest thing. We just had a client in yesterday who went through the program, and I filled him in. I said, hey, by the way, pre-existing staff are eligible for this now. And he was blown away because he's like, I've got 2 people that do XYZ. If I could add ABC to their job description, they will be eligible. So all of a sudden, he's got 2 people who he's already paying. Actually, one's on salary and one's a contractor. And for both of them, he now has $7,300 as a gift, as a grant towards both of his pre-existing employees who are now going to start doing some digital adoption strategies within his company.
Shut the front door. That's an amazing change in the CDAP, that you can actually apply some of that second component, the 7,300, to existing salaries. Let's go a little finer there. Does that mean that you could subsidize that existing staff person who might be making, 40 or 50? You could subsidize that a total amount, or would it have to be added on
It's
top
a
of their
subsidy.
existing salary?
It's a subsidy. It's amazing. So all of a
Fantastic.
sudden, he's now going to get an extra 14,600 revenue that helps his bottom line.
Fantastic. That's great. Okay, following along here, and this is so helpful, Darian. Thank you for breaking it down for us, giving us insightful tips on what not to forget, etc. So we've got the plan. The plan may be both an IT and a business development plan. 90% of that is covered by grant. We included an HR component in that plan, so we've hired a couple of people, or we're using that as a subsidy against existing people that we have. We're just changing their tasks and job descriptions to make sure that they can execute on certain parts of the plan. But of course, there's going to be hardware needs, perhaps.
Yep.
There's going to computers. There's going to be software purchases, subscriptions, etc. Tell us about the third component, which I understand is a loan.
Yeah. So income's BDC, and this is the only part of the program that is actually a loan. The first two are grants, and is the only part of the program that depends on your revenue. So again, the $501,000 businesses are going to get a different opportunity than, say, a $90 million business. And so depending on your revenue, you get put into different buckets. So I've had a client be eligible for $50,000 interest-free for 6 years. Another client be eligible for $100,000 interest-free for 6 years. So again, all depending on your revenue. And again, this part is a 6-year interest-free loan for executing and being able to make those software and hardware purchases.
Interest-free is wonderful.
Yeah.
BDC is a
Yeah.
wonderful bank. It is a bank that takes higher risk than normal on Canadian businesses. It's a bank that doesn't always have to take security against the loans. And because they tend to take higher risk to support your growth, they tend to have a higher interest rate. What you're telling me through CDAP is there is not a high interest rate. That interest rate is zero, just to encourage you to take the risk, to take the first steps to get going on your digital journey. Certainly, that digital transformation, automation, that innovation is a critical component of almost every business's competitive advantage going forward. And the fact that you've got not 4, not 5, but 6 years to pay back that loan seems like a very reasonable term. So what a fantastic program that is. Now, I have a question. We have quite a diverse array of members here at the Brampton Board of Trade, many different sectors, from small business and retail, solo entrepreneurs, many business services, manufacturing, food processing, logistics, healthcare, etc. We also have a component of businesses that are nonprofit,
Yep.
social enterprises. Does CDAP apply to nonprofits as well?
No, sadly, no. Which is too bad, because they could use a big hand right now.
Good to know.
But I'll give you this. Those that may be listening to this and maybe aren't a Brampton Board of Trade member yet, and maybe those that are actually listening to it right now that are members, if you come to us and say, hey, I'm a Brampton Board of Trade member, we're going to give you an extra $500 cash. We'll give you a PO for $500 just for being a Brampton Board of Trade member as a nice bonus. So if you're not a member yet and you were thinking about becoming a member, this is a nice bonus, because you're going to get $500 maybe towards your membership fee. And then you'll discover what it's like to hang out at the Brampton Board of Trade for a year and all their amazing programs and events and support.
And it's fun. It's fun too, Darian.
Yeah, there you go. No,
we get to meet great people like Darian and his team that are helping many businesses across Canada. We're talking to Darian Kovacs. Darian is a partner founder with Jelly Digital Marketing and PR, and he's breaking down the CDAP program for us. We found out that there's actually 2 CDAPs dependent on your current gross sales. CDAP Boost, you're eligible if you're over $500,000. CDAP Grow, if you're under. 3 components to CDAP Boost: a planning component where you want to include not only business development planning, IT planning, and HR planning. A second component that is an incentive toward execution for your HR. And the third, a 6-year interest-free loan through BDC. Darian, you gave us a great example about a knitting company, a 2-person operation, older entrepreneurs. Are there other examples that you might want to share with us on how Canadian companies are using the CDAP program?
Yeah, we've got a CDAP we're doing right now. It is for a welding company. So they do welding for manufacturing. And they've actually come to us and they're having half of it. We're going to do about how do we get more staff because they're struggling to hire more staff. So we're going to do a whole staff implementation plan. How do they get more of the word out? How do they promote the fact that we're awesome to work at? And then the second thing we're going to work with them on is how to get more B2B clients. So other businesses, not just consumer clients. And then the other half, we've brought in an IT partner. They're going to look at their software solutions, their CRM, their whole kind of internal tech stack to find out what's working best, how can they be talking to each other, and how can they make the workflow work better and smarter.
That's great. So you mentioned CRM there, so
Yep.
important.
Yep.
So what other things might a small business want to put into their planning? We hear a lot about AI and cyber right now. Does the CDAP help to experiment, to learn, to make investments in those two areas?
Yeah, like I was saying earlier before our interview here, there's a tool right within Zoom called Fathom. It's completely free. It records your Zoom calls and then it produces a blog and a summary of what needs to happen next. So again, a free AI tool that can again help you work smarter, not harder. And so again, we walk through various tools and resources that businesses can implement in their day-to-day business. But more importantly, what we're finding most of all is that businesses are trying to even just understand the basics of like, how does my analytics work? How can I sell more products online? How can I sell into the US? How can I get more customers in my door? How can I get more bookings? How can I find more staff? How can I get my organization on the internet and being really good about it? Which social channels should I be on? Which ones shouldn't I be on so I don't waste my time? Those are the things that the government's actually funding and providing a really practical solution for.
Really practical solutions to questions like how do I find my clients through Facebook, through LinkedIn, through Insta and others? How do I develop a compelling message that will reach them where they are? Should that message be text, graphic, video? How do I measure the click-through rate? And again, as business owners, we're busy with our own little special understanding and knowledge of the service we're delivering, the product that we're making. And maybe we understand that we have to do this stuff, but don't really want to do it. Well, this program will allow you to hire somebody, not only get advice from folks like you, certified digital adoption program advisors, but you can hire individuals or subsidize your existing staff's time to do a scan of what AI tools are out there, to experiment, to try, to test different A, B. Is this advertisement A leading to the result we want B? How do we increase our click-through rate? So there's a whole real reorientation to modern day marketing that a founder, an owner can learn more about, or can delegate to one of their dedicated staff and really come up to speed in a quick way, in a low risk way, with some of these modern marketing techniques, as well as experiment with programs and platforms for project management, for CRM, for internal communications, experiment with avatars. There's just so many. We're living in a really interesting time in history right now where so many technologies are peaking at the same time, where we store our data on the cloud, how we keep it secure, cybersecurity, how the Internet of Things, how different devices can talk to one another, and it can be overwhelming. This is a program that provides accredited advisors and stepwise, logical, reasonable, low-risk solutions to not only get you started, but get you your competitive advantage over other competitors. Darian, any other thoughts with respect to how the program's being used? What entrepreneurs should look out for? What do they need before they go to the website? What do they need to have at their fingertips in order to close the question about eligibility on CDAP?
Yeah, as long as you know if your business has 500K in revenue or more, you are good to go. Just take about 20 minutes. As long as you have your cell nearby, you remember your banking login or your GC key, great. And then you're off to the races. It's pretty incredible. And my biggest encouragement is don't put it off. This program, again, I don't know how the government works super well. I just know this program is in existence right now, and it's amazing. And so if it shuts down early, that would be such a bummer to miss out on, especially the fact that this is a really good pathway to the Can Export grant. And so again, make sure you think of this grant as, okay, this is one grant, $123,000. And then there's another grant, like the Can Export grant that you could take advantage of. So you sitting there, maybe if you're frustrated or discouraged right now with the economic times, here's a chance where the government's actually coming alongside with something very practical, very tangible, and very easy to get access to.
Yeah, good advice in not to delay. We are in interesting times, and government programs don't last forever. So remind us again, access points, I think you said CDAP
Money, please. Yeah.
moneyplease.ca.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or .com. And I'll send that link in here so you guys can check that out in the notes. And it's amazing. And also, when you do the Can Export piece, we have some resources as well to help you with that. The hiring piece, just so you know, if you're like, well, I don't know any 18 to 30-year-olds, I don't have anyone working for me right now. The program is called Magnet, and it's out of Toronto Metropolitan University. They have a giant team of 18 to 30-year-olds ready to be hired, ready to work for you, covered by the feds.
that's fantastic. That is great. Yes, we have experience with Magnet. They've been around for more than a decade now and provide great access to talented individuals. That's very, very good. This is very logical and good advice. The website, if I could ask the team just to enter that website, cdapmoneyplease.ca. You mentioned that there's also a federal government website. The interface may be not as friendly as the one that you've prepared, Darian, but definitely it's not discouraging. It's a welcoming one, but let's put that website in the chat as well. And you've done a wonderful job, Darian, of breaking this down for us. So we haven't spent as much time on the last component that you say is a natural progression of CDAP funding and CDAP planning and CDAP execution. We're an exporting nation, and we're $365 million, I believe, a day in traffic. I think it's even more than that. Maybe I got my millions and my billions mixed up. It's 365 billion, I think, a day. Anyway, $1 billion a day, 365 billion in total. Sorry, brain malfunction there today. But we're sitting next to the biggest market in the world, consumer market in the world, with the United States. But it's not this Can Export grant is not just to the United States. It is a 50%, 50 cents on the dollar of your export marketing expenditures. I'm not unsure if there's a cap on that. Maybe you can let us know. And also, what are some of the eligible activities, export activities that grant would be available for?
Yeah, it's 50 cents on the dollar up to 100K, and you can apply every year. So for example, you might apply year one and you want to do Northeastern United States. Year two is, Northwestern United States. Year three, you might do the UK. And every year you can apply for, again, up to $100,000, of which the government covers 50 cents on the dollar, 50%. And all the eligible expenses look like trade shows, webinars, promotional ads, promotional videos, promotional material, anything that you can prove to the Can Export people that you are going to help gain more revenue from the United States, and in turn, of course, hire more people, pay more taxes, bring some of that American money up to Canada. They're going to love it, and they're excited about it. And that's why that program is beautiful and awesome. And it's such a good kind of second step, part two of CDAP.
Well, that's great. So we could hire a videographer to do some videos for us. We could purchase a display booth. We could perhaps use it for fees for trade shows in the States. We could do any number of things, change our pricing into American dollars, etc. Hire somebody to help us with that strategy. Maybe develop some new brochures, direct mail. Fantastic. And 50 cents on the dollar, half price sale. Thank you to the Canadian government for that. I see one question in our chat with respect to is there a presentation sheet that can be shared? I don't know, Darian, if you've got a PDF that can be put in the chat, or direct them to a website where they can download a presentation sheet. If so, please put that in the chat. Any other last comments you might have, Darian, for our audience today?
No, I just encourage you, those that are members of the Brampton Board of Trade, there are many, many benefits from the really fun events, the fun activities, meeting amazing people who are both on staff and fellow members, but also you get perks like an extra $500 if you go ahead with your CDAP Boost program, which is pretty awesome. They want to make sure that you are able to fully leverage this program and also benefit financially from it. And again, those that are listening that are not yet a member, this could be your excuse and reason to join the Brampton Board of Trade, because right away you get a $500 bonus for signing up with CDAP if you are a member of the Brampton Board of Trade.
Wonderful, wonderful. That is great news. Well, Darian, this has been incredibly informative. Thank you for taking time to talk with me today, to talk to our members about this, break it down, take care of some of those myths that are out there traditionally associated with grants from the government. You've really helped us understand that this is accessible, that this is timely, that this is a pretty low maintenance opportunity for you to get serious about growing your business, export markets, your digital journey. This expert interview has been wonderful. If you'd like to speak with Darian directly, visit jellymarketing.ca to learn more about Jelly Marketing's service. We have the other appropriate websites up there, CDAP Money Please and the ISDE Canada website as well. This has been great, and I look forward to we will put this website, we will put this expert interview on our website so that it can be viewed by our members. I think a very valuable use of half an hour of time. And that's what we do here at the Brampton Board of Trade, is try to save you time, save you money, help you meet the people that you need to meet, that will help you, encourage you, move you closer to your objectives. And in that vein, we've got some upcoming events that you're going to want to put on your calendar. We just had a wonderful event with Premier Ford last Friday, where he talked about the importance of infrastructure development and improving the quality of life for residents here in Brampton and Peel region. Fast on the heels of his visit, the finance minister wants to come talk to the Brampton Board of Trade and its members. So shortly after the holiday break on January 8th, we have a breakfast with Finance Minister, Ontario's Finance Minister, Peter Bethenfolby. It's at the Garden Banquet Center. It's 8 a.m. On January 8th. I hope you can be there. The Finance Minister is a regular visitor to the Brampton Board of Trade. He's a great speaker, helps us understand the intricacies of how to run the business called Ontario and what it means to you who fund the business called Ontario, the government of Ontario. So a great speaker, great opportunity to see your fellow colleagues in business, founders, etc. It's always good to compare notes. It's great to spend some time with family. I think we're all looking forward to the break, but we've got an event for you to get back into the business development mode right on January 8th. Now, January 25th is another date you're going to want to put in your calendar. We like to have a variety of different meetings with a variety of different objectives. January 8th, of course, is our advocacy, our understanding of how governments work and impact our business. January 25th is one of our big networking events. It's in the evening. It's 5:30 till 8:30. It's at PAMA. That's Peel Archives and Gallery and Museum. Peel Art Gallery, Museum, and Archives. It's a wonderful space right downtown across from City Hall. It is our Overtime Goals Winter Mixer. Overtime Goals, of course, is our bi-monthly series where you can bring your opportunities and challenges as a business owner and share those with your goals, your upcoming objectives for 2024 with fellow colleagues, and maybe find someone that can help accelerate them for you, or if maybe commiserate so that, you know, sometimes it's lonely being a CEO of an entrepreneur about your own company, and you'll find lots of people that get it, lots of people that understand and are there to help you. That's what we do here at the Brampton Board of Trade. So that's on January 25th at PAMA, and there's a special feature. You may know that my last days working with the Brampton Board of Trade, I'm moving on to greener pastures, is in January. So January 25th is an opportunity for you to meet the new CEO of the Brampton Board of Trade, a wonderful gentleman. His name is J. Paul Massey Singh. Yes, you know that name. He's the former chair of the Brampton Board of Trade back in 2015. He's been working with startups over the last 5 years. He's worked for the Toronto Pearson Airport. He's worked in healthcare. Just a wonderful man that's got ideas that are really going to boost Brampton and the members of the Brampton Board of Trade. That's January 25th. Put it in your calendar. You'll want to meet him for sure. Now, February 6th, I know we're looking into February already. That's one of our big signature events. That's State of the City. That's an opportunity to hear from Mayor Brown on his vision and not procrastination, but his outlook of the 2024 year. Not only Mayor Brown speaking on behalf of the public sector, but the new chair of the Brampton Board of Trade, Lou Valukas, a gentleman that's been on the board for about 7 years now, local lawyer, franchise lawyer, good guy to get to know to help grow your business either organically or through acquisition. He will provide the private sector's perspective on Brampton's economy in 2024. So it is an amazing couple of months here at the Brampton Board of Trade. You've got friends here. This is you'll find out all the registration information on bramptonbot.com. I want to thank Darian again for being so insightful, so thoughtful, for planning through this discussion on this expert series. We look forward to sending business your way, and look forward to maybe a follow-up conversation in the new year as well. Darian, any final thoughts or remarks on your part?
Well, just great job investing in you, investing in your business, investing in the economy. And I hope that you can get some of your tax money back, because you deserve it.
All right, fantastic. Darian, it's been a pleasure. Thank you to the BBOT team, Justina and Sonia behind the scenes here. And thank all of you for your attention. And we look forward to seeing you again real soon. Bye now.